evening and welcome to the TalkWrite Show. I'm your host, Wayne Stennett, and tonight is going to be a really cool night. We've got the director, I'll let Nick do this.
We have two representatives of Novelists Incorporated, which everyone just knows as NINC. We have Mel Jolly, who is the conference director, and Tawdra Kandle, who's the assistant conference director of the NINC conference, which is going to be taking place September 18th through the 22nd in St. Pete. And a lot of Wayne and my friends will be there. The tropical authors will be there, and we're all looking forward to learning what we can learn about how to make more money. Oh, goody. And we have a cat coming in here. I see Tawdra has a friend.
She's ignoring us up until the time you started talking, Nick, and then she was
Of course. Well, and my dog is continuing to stare at me. So I'm going to throw it to you guys. What can we look for at the 2024 NINC? Is there anything new, anything special? What are some of the bits of information we're going to get to learn as authors?
Well, I mean, yes, there's all kinds of new and special things. And I'm going to make one quick correction, Nick, off the that is that word St. Pete Beach, which is completely different from St. Petersburg. That, you know, it's important for those of us who are traveling there to know. Yeah, we are at the Trade Winds at St. Pete Beach, as you said, in September, and it is the place to be if you are a NINC member. We're very excited this year. Mel and I have been living this conference, organizing it for 6 years now. I mean, officially 4 years, I guess. But it's the great thing about that is that we can see in real time things that work, things that worked once, but maybe aren't so, working so well as time goes on, and we can make those changes. So it's been really exciting this year to say, okay, this is an issue we see coming. How can we actually make this better and make the conference more appealing and more fulfilling and more worthwhile for everybody who attends? And that's authors, assistants, industry guests. We love our industry guests, our sponsors, like the lovely people who sponsor the Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour, which we're very grateful for. Not naming names.
Well, who would that be?
Who would that
It's Down Island Press.
It is Down Island. Yes. So yeah, so we're very excited. One of the things that we're doing new this year that just popped into my head is we used to have something called NINC after Night Owls. That's what they were, Night Owls. And they were members only discussion times. During the pandemic, we moved it outside and turned it into roundtables where everybody could come. So industry guests could be there, assistants could take part, and that worked great for a while. We started to notice that last year, there were a few things that we didn't love about it. And we had some people saying of all the many offerings of the conference that was maybe not their favorite. So this year, we have changed to something that Mel came up with the name of, and it's called Session Decompression. Basically,
a great name,
right? We have so many excellent workshop sessions, sponsor time, sponsor workshop hours, whatever, that you can't be everywhere at once unless you have perfected the ability to clone or change time, which if you have, please come talk to me. So we have always encouraged people to make friends at the conference and then share their notes and their experiences and their takeaways. So this is actually going to be an official way of doing it. So at the end of each day, on Thursday, it will be in the evening. And on Friday and Saturday, it will be right at the end of the conference day, right after the last workshop. And people there'll be snacks and there'll be a bar and they can sit down and say, I went to go see Cameron Snow talk about direct sales. And somebody else can say, oh, well, I went to go see Kevin Tomlinson talk about the artisan age, the new artisan age. And then they can say, oh, well, I really wanted to go to that one. Oh, I really wanted to go to that one. And they share their experiences, their takeaways. And we're hoping that that's going to be a very popular and very effective session on all three nights.
I like that idea. That's brilliant.
And one thing we've definitely found with NINC is if anyone has, if you haven't been to NINC, I don't know that there is any other event that's going to feed you as much as we will. I used to work in the young adult section of the library. And when we wanted teenagers to come to an event, we just always provided snacks. That was one of my big jobs, was like opening bags of Doritos and opening Oreos. And I think I've been delighted to just carry that into event planning. Is anything we want to add, we go, okay, now how can we fit this into the menu? So, I think one time we're having ice cream. We have a lot of meals and a lot of snack breaks, all baked into the conference for the Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour, which is again sponsored by Down Island Press. We're very excited. We're very appreciative. That event is not new this year, but it's new as of 2022. I think this will be our third year. 2,
Yep.
3, 4. Yeah. Our third year of doing it, Wayne's third year, Down Island Press's third year of sponsoring it. And that was a Tawdra brainchild. We had a trade show, and a lot of events have a fairly typical trade show that's maybe open all day, and people stay at their booths, and attendees are free to walk through at their leisure. Well, what we found was with NINC, we have so many great workshops. We were really having a hard time convincing anyone to walk through the trade show. And so we listened to the feedback from the sponsors, and they just didn't feel like it was worth their time. So Tawdra was like, okay, what if we make it super short and, add food and
And a bar.
add a bar and
Rum
add
punch.
prizes. And so we just all worked together, and we came up with this Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour, which is a trade show, but it's only for an hour and a half. And we give everyone a passport. If anyone's been to the trade ones in St. Pete Beach, Florida, it's a beautiful resort. And if you want, when you go to one of the bars or restaurants, you can ask for a passport, and you can get a stamp for getting a drink at every bar on the resort. And then you get a free t-shirt at the end. And I will say at my first NINC, I got my free t-shirt. It's not that free because you paid $80 for drinks, but still got my t-shirt. So we took that idea over to the Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour, and every sponsor has a page in the passport, and we hand out those passports when attendees come in. And as long as they get a stamp from every sponsor, they can come back to us and get raffle tickets and enter the prize drawings, which have also all come from sponsors. We get great donations. Down Island Press this year is donating a FreeWrite Alpha portable digital typewriter, which I am very excited to
That's cool.
look at and holding my little hands before we set it on the
It doesn't
table.
do anything besides write. It has no internet access. It doesn't show movies. It doesn't show pictures. It's just 3 lines of text.
I have a feeling this is going to be one of the hot prizes. Every year we have a handful of prizes that people are just like, you can select. We have probably 16, 17, 18 different prize packs, and we put little buckets in front of them. So you only put your tickets in the prizes you want to be drawn for. And last year, one of the big prizes was the plotter otter. Is this cute little stuffed mascot from Plotter. People were just going crazy over it. We've had noise canceling headphones before that people have been really excited about. A lot of people donate ad credit or services. So it's just this great time that we put purposefully on the first day of the conference, the first full day, Thursday, so that it kind of breaks the ice with the sponsors. So even new attendees who may not know the people from Draft to Digital or Google or Amazon or whatever, they break the ice with them at this event. And then hopefully they set up meetings and have good conversations for the rest of the event as well.
And I will say, this is going to be, I believe, our largest mosh ever. I think we have more sponsors at this year's event. We have maxed out how many tables we can have in the Banyan Breezeway.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very popular thing. We have people saying, well, I want a mosh table. I don't care what else you give me, but I want a mosh table. So
Mhm.
it is. It's
I'm
great.
glad it turned out to be something fun. It has been just an absolute mayhem of a blast. It's incredible. I mean, everybody comes in, and I'm at the first table, and so I'm the first person they get to meet, and I'm like, and Jordan's there with me, and sometimes my wife, and we just can't talk fast enough,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
just some people just want to stamp and they don't want to talk, and they go on to the next table, but it's really cool just to be able to interact.
And I
Yeah.
think this year, some of our return attendees can say, now, Wayne, was it your group that was blowing the conch shell at sunset at last year's beachside blowout? And you can say, yes, that you should even bring your conch shells and put them on your table. Little
Well,
memory jog.
You know, and
it's in the works. We have how many TA members are coming this year, Nick?
Well, I was trying to find that out yesterday, but only 4 people posted, so I'm not sure. I think it's only 10, but
It's a few, and I see you got your Concorn.
yep. The 3 of the tropical authors had these, and at sunset on the final day, I'm going to risk it. Let me see.
yeah.
I can't believe that worked on the first shot.
It was probably too loud for your microphone.
Oh, did it blow you guys? I'm sorry.
No, no.
No, it didn't.
It's great.
We heard the
Okay,
first
good.
part, and then it just went silent.
I think we should do that at Mosh. Maybe that's how we'll get everybody's attention this year, is we'll have all the
Oh my
TAs
gosh, we have a hard time getting everybody's attention. That's a good idea.
do. So there you go. I think we've just solved a problem
All right.
right off. The tropical authors will all gather there and, go together. I
We'll
think
have all our horns on the table.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Let
yeah,
me
that
just
was
quickly
just
say
impromptu and fun.
for folks watching this who don't know what the NINC conference is, it is a gathering that goes over several days, and the core of it, there are several days in a row where each time block, hour and a half, there are 3 main conference rooms, and sometimes I think there's a 4th, and then there's also some little individual meet and greets you can do in other rooms. And all of those things happen in these time blocks, and you kind of have to pick and choose. Sometimes you'll be like, well, that's the one I want. And other times you're like, these 2 are equally wonderful. And so maybe you'll talk to a friend and say, if you'll take notes at that one, I'll go to this one.
or you go to the
but-
session decompression at the end.
Yes.
Session decompression.
And that's why I
that's-
wanted to describe
like
this.
that.
I'm like, people don't know how great this session decompression idea is, because the frustration is not getting able to do everything you want to do. And of course, the most important thing I think is socializing and meeting. Being an author is a very solitary profession. So being able to sit down with people, not just the authors, but the assistants, the editors, we've got people from SAG-AFTRA, we have narrators coming, and you've got the advertisers and the folks that make all the neat little devices that help us write better. All of us get all mashed together and drink rum and beer and hang out at the beach. It's just wonderful.
It is. We
It is sensory overload, though. I mean, when you have 3 sessions in the morning, 3 sessions I think we're down to 2 sessions morning now, or
Yeah.
still 3.
Mhm.
But still, we're looking at 4 sessions, and you have to choose between 3 every hour. And just for 3 straight days, you're 1 hour after another, you're just getting all this information bombarded. And it takes me at least a week to unwind after NINC, just to be
It's true. It's true.
Just-
And
just to be able to figure everything out and what I want to do, what's actionable right now, what can I need to put off for till next month, and what can be done. But it takes me a month just to get everything organized afterward.
definitely.
Well-
And sorry, Mel, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, to your point, Wayne, I think that's a very common issue, is kind of like conference overwhelm, because you've taken in so much information. And so one of the things that we've done with the programming team this year is we're very excited. We have a final session on Saturday that's going to be taught by Sarah Cannon. We're going to have a great big space so that you don't have to pick and choose in this 2 o'clock time slot on Saturday. And it's called Implementing What You've Learned, How to Create a Winning Post-Conference Plan. So
Oh,
we're
that's another
hopeful
great
that,
idea.
yeah, Sarah Cannon, who is well known in our industry for teaching people to organize, to kind of sort out the noise from what's actually actionable. She's got she's an excellent teacher, and we've had her before, but we, in conjunction with the programming team, specifically put her in this spot to combat that very thing that you're talking about.
To give us an opportunity there. Yeah. And
Mhm.
I'm very much looking forward to that. And I was going to say, for anybody who doesn't know, Nick kind of started down this path, but NINC is an organization, first and foremost, that was begun in the late 80s as a way for professional novelists to gather together to talk about the industry, to at that time, you know, which was all trad, to work together to find solutions or to find better ways of doing things, and just to be a support of each other, to each other. We began to swing a little bit more indie from about 2012 on, but we are a nice mix of indie, trad, hybrid authors. And the difference between NINC and a lot of other organizations is that there is an income criteria for membership. So you have to meet a certain either trad or indie level before you can be considered for membership. So, you know, and that, so you know that everybody who is there has been published at least twice, and you know, is knowledgeable. You're not going to meet people who don't know how to put a book up on Amazon, or how to you know, use the drafted digital services, or whatever. You're gonna, everybody's been around the block in the best way.
And
You have-
because of that, the presentations from the industry guests, they're not 101 level.
No.
These are upper level. If you're a brand new writer, well, number one, you probably won't qualify to be a member of NINC. But if you are a brand new writer and you've never been to a NINC conference, clear your plate. I mean, I don't have anything else scheduled for that entire week, and nothing scheduled for the week after, because it's that much information is going to be coming at you.
Mhm.
It's true. It's very true. And our theme this year, we're very excited about our theme, and it's balance. And we've really been very thoughtful about it, because we're balancing a lot of things. It doesn't just mean programming, although we have this year, I think, in my opinion, the most balanced slate this year that maybe we ever have, between craft and promotion marketing and business, between trad and indie centric sessions, between, you know, KU and wide. At the same time, we are trying to address something that we have heard in the last few years, which is a not so secret issue in this industry, and that's burnout. I run an uncon before the conference actually begins, and for the last 2 years, and specifically last year, I had a lot of authors saying, well, I haven't written in 2 years because I'm burnt out. I haven't done anything. I want to, and to me, I want to address that, and I want to figure out how those authors can find their way back to a happy medium, and be able to be publishing, writing, and feel good about it. So there's that balance between, you know, writing enough but not writing too much, and feeling that sense of your work-life balance that we're trying to address too. So we have somebody coming, her name is Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith, and she's going to address a lot of that. And we're very excited about that too. So we have great lineup.
And let me add, since we're live on YouTube right now, NINC has a YouTube channel. It's at Novelists Inc. And this year, in something new, Tawdra and I interviewed a lot of our speakers, did, you know, 10, 15-minute interviews with them. So if you want to get a little taste of the kind of workshops that we're going to have, you can look on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Repeat that again, because I think that's something a lot of folks are going to want to. It's
at Novelists Inc.
Novelists Inc.
Yes.
YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's see. Here's a question. This will be my third NINC. And I live up here. I'm not too far from New York City, and I've been tempted to go to Thriller Fest, which is a pricey sort of conference in the city. But one of the main reasons I would go is they have a section of it called Pitch Fest. And I was wondering if that's something I've never seen at NINC, would be to someone to do a talk about if you want to try to get a particular book done on a streaming service or television or film, how might you start? What is a pitch Bible? What is a look something or other? I mean, there's all these different terms. Who do you go to? Who do you send it to? Is that something that NINC has ever thought about?
I think we had a workshop, didn't Inez Johnson did a workshop about that 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
We've covered movie pitches as well as several different ways. And this year we have a workshop on transmedia that I think people will find really interesting, because there's so many opportunities now with your books. It's not just, okay, I'm going to take it to ebook and print and audio, but what are the ways you can turn it into like a streaming series, or a series of TikTok videos, or just all these different, how can you turn it into merch? How can you turn it into a board game? All these different opportunities that are available now. I think we're going to have a really good crossover of selling direct on Kickstarter. And let's see, I turned my series into a board game, and now I'm going to sell it on Kickstarter, but I'm also going to sell it direct from my own website. It's just a really wide. Oh, Wayne's gone.
Oh no. And that means we've lost the YouTube.
It says
we
no.
almost made it to 7. Oh shoot. I wonder if he can rejoin. We'll give him a second.
We'll see.
I think that has never happened to us.
I'm still live.
Yeah, and it's still saying,
yeah, hey folks,
we're still live. I see my face.
Yeah.
So
we're still here.
Okay, well, we'll keep going.
Jordan will come back shortly.
Okay, here's another quick little kooky question. Tropical Authors is trying to get some people together while everyone's already in one place to do a book signing over at Doc Ford's, possibly with Randy Wayne White. Another group is getting a little get together at the Hangar Restaurant, which is like on the flight deck of a little airport, and it's an Authors with Airplanes thing. Would NINC ever consider helping put something together the day before sign-in started, since the Tradewinds gives us these cheaper rooms, to let a group of 20, 30 authors who are going to be at NINC, who are there early, to get together and do a little signing at a brewery or something, which would be a socializing event, but also feel like we're doing something and make it tax deductible.
I believe that would probably remain NINC adjacent. We have several. Okay. We have several events that we call NINC adjacent. For instance, I mentioned the Uncon that I do. That's NINC adjacent. There's Wayne. We had, the karaoke party that closes us out on Saturday night started as a NINC adjacent event. It was not an official NINC sanctioned event until 2022. So it was, we had hoped to bring it into the NINC, under the NINC umbrella in 2020, but then we missed 2 years of karaoke, and we came back in 2022. And now it's wonderful because Saturday night is all Drafted Digital. They sponsor our incredible beachside blowout buffet, and then they go right into karaoke. I would never say never as far as a signing. But as the conference team, it does make me want to twitch a little bit because the day before the conference begins, as you may be surprised to learn, is a very busy work day for the conference team. So
David Behrens has told me he's not going to be available that day before. Yes.
There is something interesting though, and this is I guess it's not technically NINC sanctioned, but the St. Pete Beach Library reached out to the conference team this year and said, we just found out about your conference and we would love to be involved. Now, unfortunately, it was a little late in the year, but we were able to set up a author showcase for the Monday before the conference starts. So that's the 16th, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the 16th. And there's going to be about 11 authors who are going to go over to the library for a couple of hours and meet patrons and sign books. And, you know, we're hoping that it's the first step in what will be a nice partnership. We'd love to have the library involved in the conference more, more fully next year. So.
No, that's great. They're actually on my list. If the Doc Ford thing didn't work, I was going to call St. Pete next.
Okay.
But it sounds like, no, I think that's good. We'll just let that be the thing, right? But that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we still have a couple openings. If anybody wanted to, if anybody was going to be there on Monday and wanted to do it, I could probably make that happen.
If I have your permission, I can float it to the tropical authors who are coming. Again, I think there's only 10, and I know at least 3 won't be there till sign,
Right.
So it might only be a couple of us, but I'll be there.
Yeah, well, and if you're interested, definitely let me know. So
I'll shoot out. Okay, great. Welcome back, Wayne. We were still live, so we kept talking.
Where are you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if were you still live?
Mm-hmm.
It's saying we are, but I don't know if it got to YouTube or not.
We'll have to.
Yeah, it's still here. It's still
there.
here.
Yeah.
The live portion never went down for them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Are there any questions on YouTube? That's one thing we haven't checked.
No, I lost it and it's gone.
Oh, okay.
There's no questions.
There are no questions. Jordy says there's no questions.
All right.
And we're at the top of the hour now, so it's time for the show to be over. In other words, Greta has dinner on the table. Anyway, thanks, Tawdra and Mel, for joining us this evening.
Of course.
It's been a lot of fun. It's always fun to get together with you ladies.
It is.
And anybody who, well, as of right now, anybody who hasn't already registered wouldn't be able to register for this year. But if you are considering joining, now would be the perfect time, because get your membership, get all your papers in order, and get all your proof of income. You got to do all that. You got to jump through a lot of hoops, and it really takes, from the time that you apply for membership, it's probably 2 months before you actually get accepted as a member, because new members have to go through a vetting process, and then got to give the membership time to approve, and so it takes a long time. And then once registration opens next year, for a day or 2, you'll need to get in real early. But if you're not a member, you can't register. That's basically it.
Very true. Yep.
But anyway, thank you all for being on with us. And thanks to our sponsors and supporters, Aurora Publicity, Down Island Press, How Not to Sail, Latitudes and Attitudes, Tropical Authors. Oh, I'm missing one, I know.
Pirate Radio. Okay, now we got them all. All right, good night, everybody.